Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmad Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. We've got a bunch of things to discuss with you today, but first of all, it's all about Pakistan, and it should be. We all know that the tour to Sri Lanka begins on the 16th of July with the first test match, but Pakistan team is playing a practice match as well. They were due to play a practice match in which they've performed exceptionally well. They managed to bowl out their opposition and in reply managed to build a solid partnership as well. So as far as the practice is concerned, I think so far it started on a good note, but you can never gauge it on an international perspective. Once they play Sri Lanka, it's going to be a touch different, obviously more experience and more caliber there. So we'll gauge it and obviously try to gauge what kind of combinations Pakistan is going to go with. Even in the last show, we tried to gauge a couple of these combinations, and we tried to see what combinations could be better for Pakistan as far as experience and the conditions and current form is concerned. So I think all these three factors should be put into consideration. After that, we move on to the team of the ICC World Cup qualifiers that has been announced as well, the team of the tournament. It includes 3 players each from Sri Lanka, the Netherlands, then Zimbabwe. 2 Scottish players have also made it to the side. Although Netherlands and Sri Lanka have qualified for the World Cup, and it's been a disappointing fact for West Indies, for Zimbabwe as well. I think it was a heartbreak even for Scotland. But the fact is that this was the most competitive World Cup qualifiers that we've ever had, and that's why cricket is becoming so diverse that I think ICC should now take a look into the perspective of even having more teams for the World Cup, because then again, you know, current form is something that the Netherlands have enjoyed, so they deserve to be qualifying for the World Cup as well. So do Sri Lanka. It was unfortunate they were already playing a qualifier, but they've qualified. Then of course in the later half of the show we talk about the Wimbledon, the biggest Grand Slam of the year, where Djokovic has made it through. We also had Alcaraz, who beat Matteo Berrettini, and on the women's side it was competitive action as well. We'll be discussing that in detail. Time now to introduce our guests. First of all, in studios we've been joined by cricket commentator, cricket broadcaster, presenter and our cricket expert K. Asif Ahmad. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmad. I'm very well. How about yourself? How about your health?
I'm very well as well. Great to have you on the show. Well, Asif, first of all, this practice match so far has been good for Pakistan. We don't have the extensive details, but as far as we knew that Pakistan were able to bowl out their opposition, which I think is a good start.
Well, that's right. You know, that's just right before the series when you're playing a side match and your team is performing well, always gives you confidence. And especially Hassan Ali bowled really so nicely. In this scenario, when we are playing in Sri Lanka and your fast bowlers are performing well, it's a good sign, because you know that Sri Lanka is always really good and haven for the spinners. And that's why we had a debate yesterday that who could be good in the spin department. And of course, that the Sri Lanka is a very strengthened side when we talk about in terms of spin bowling. Tishkana, then Jay Surya, Hasranga, all of them really good. And in your intro, as you were discussing about that, what could be the best 11 for Pakistan? See, there is no doubt that the Sarfraz is performing so well, and still, you know that after hearing the Babar Azam's press conference, you get an idea that Babar Azam still thinking that Sarfraz is the first choice as middle order batter. And of course, then the question is that who could be the wicket keeper? Either Babar Azam will move with Sarfraz as a wicket keeper batter or just middle order batter. For me, I think that Sarfraz should think about it, that a wicket keeping is a permanent job and is an exclusive job. Even, you know, that behind the stumps a wicket keeper should give his best, and that's why the rest of the world, they're just concentrating that if they could get the specialist wicket keeper, and you cannot compromise on that. On the other side, that we do have a debate that either Hassan Ali is playing or you'll go with the 2 spinners, 3 spinners, like an extra spinner like Salman Agha and then Abrar. Now there is a tough competition between Nawaz, Noman. Once again, 2 fast bowlers, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah. But I think the way Hassan Ali is performing, I'll go with Hassan Ali. If you see his track record in Test cricket, he's so good in Test cricket. Yes, there's a question mark that he was not performing in the white ball cricket, either ODI or T20. But in Test cricket, he's going so well. For me, as if you ask me, that I will definitely prefer Hassan Ali, because he's bowling so nicely. He got a good rhythm in red ball cricket. He was good and perfect in the in the county cricket as well. So I think if a player is coming up with that experience, just give him chance. It will give you some energy as well in the field. So Hassan Ali, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah, Abrar, and then Salman Agha.
Well, it's very interesting. I was just going through the details of this game. 196 all out Sri Lanka President 11 against Pakistan. So if you look at the bowling figures, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Hassan Ali picked up 3 wickets each. They shared the new ball. Interestingly, Naseem Shah hasn't bowled. They've gone with Amir Jamal as their third all-round seamer option. And Abrar has also picked up wickets. If you talk about Fernando, he was resilient with the bat. He was one element that was much needed, but he was removed with a breakthrough by Amir Jamal for 109. And Abrar and Amir Jamal, of course, shared 2 wickets each, if I'm not wrong. So 2 wickets each for them, 3 for Shaheen Shah Afridi, 3 for Hassan Ali. Does that give us a hint that maybe Pakistan is looking to go with this combination?
If you are using 3 fast bowlers, I'm not sure either you will give chance to Amir Jamal or you'll go for the debut, because it's a big decision, because you have only 2 test matches. Yes, if it's a 3 test matches, then you win 2 matches and then you will give chances to new players and you'll go for the debut. Giving chance to Amir Jamal, and he's performing well, as you said that. On the other side, both of the fast bowlers, Shaheen Shah Afridi and Hassan Ali, they were so good with the new ball. And Shaheen Shah Afridi is always a surprise package whenever he bowls with the new ball, especially his in-swing deliveries. Always create difficulties for the batters, even the top-notch batters like Rohit Sharma, even Virat Kohli. So I think Shaheen Shah Afridi and Hassan Ali could be a good choice. But now, what could be your hunch? Because I'll ask this question to you as well, that either you think that the Amir Jamal is a good option, or you will definitely give chance to your main bowler, and that is Naseem Shah.
That is Naseem Shah, but he's not played today. So that if I just try to gauge the situation, I think if they were to go with Naseem Shah, they would have played him today. But because Hassan Ali is an automatic selection, we discussed this yesterday as well, and we also discussed the fact that Shaheen Shah Afridi, Hassan Ali, and Noman Ali and Abrar are going to be your primary spinners. I think Amir Jamal is playing.
No, that's right. But the question is, if Amir Jamal will play, then would you give rest to Naseem Shah?
Yeah, I'll be comfortable with that. Although Amir Jamal bowled 4 no balls today, which I didn't like, but I think I'll be comfortable with that.
But see that you are planning for your Asia Cup and World Cup. So Amir Jamal is no more in plans for the Asia Cup or the World Cup. So give chances to your main players, so they will get some confidence and energy and of course some rhythm. And Naseem Shah is a kind of bowler, that who always perform well. This is a side match, and if you're giving chances to your in this match, there is no obligations that only 4 or 5 bowlers bowling. You got a lineup that every bowler could bowl. So I have seen that. Yeah, I have seen that, and that the rest of the batters, the 11 batters could be bad there, and the rest of the bowlers, they could bowl. So I'm not sure that why Naseem Shah didn't bowl, but he was in the side. I have seen that paper.
Well, interestingly, the 3 options for Pakistan should be on the basis of experience and skill: Hassan Ali, Shaheen Shah Afridi, and Naseem Shah. This really makes, I think, a lethal combination. And in conditions like Sri Lanka, Asif, we would agree that sometimes you need that extra pace, which can be provided by Naseem Shah.
No, that's right, but you have to see the pitch as well, how the pitch is performing or behaving. If pitch is good with the spinners, how could you go with the 3-4 fast bowlers? It doesn't make any sense. So see the ground realities. If the ground realities are supporting to the spinners, you will go with the spinners, and you have some luxury of Agha, Salman Agha, and Mohammad Nawaz is there, Noman, and then Abrar. But once again, the Sri Lankan spinners, they are really experienced, and they're more dangerous than the Pakistanis, because Noman Ali is an experienced campaigner, but still you'd have to think that how the Hasranga and Jasuria, they are getting victories for their country. And you know that Hasranga bowled so nicely in the ICC qualifier. We'll definitely talk about that. Apart from that, you would have to rely on your spin bowling, because you do not have that kind of bowler which we talk about. In the past we had Yasir Shah, Saeed Ajmal, Abdur Rahman, Zulfikar Babar. So you would have to rely on these kind of bowlers.
Babar Azam is also a quality spinner these days, so you can probably also rely on him as well. But then again, we've discussed the fact that Pakistan, whatever we say, is still a very strong team, and they're enjoying a good run at the moment. This combination, this camaraderie in the dressing room, the environment and the respect they have for their captain Babar Azam is splendid. And I think if all is done according to merit and they play what we always say technically, then we can expect Pakistan to do well in this series.
Yes, of course. When we talk about the environment of the dressing room, it's so good, right before the show, we guys were talking about the friendships, and the team is gelling so nicely. Credit goes to captain, that the captain is bringing this unity in this team, in this side. And even, the new players like Saud Shakil, Hurera is there, and then Amir Jamal. Amir Jamal already played in Peshawar Zalmi in the captaincy of Babar Azam. He's already in his liking, and that's why the selectors, they have promoted him in the test squad as well. So because that we had a debut of Muhammad Ali against England, not giving him chance in this series is another injustice, because that you cannot judge a fast bowler after 2-3 matches. You would have to give him more chances. So Muhammad Ali is not there. You dropped him after a couple of failures. Wasn't a good idea for me, seriously. So it all about the environment of the dressing room is that how players are comfortable with the captain.
Well, it's interesting because we've had this habit of making debuts at a very wrong time against wrong opposition or players. But at the same time, we've handed splendid debuts to opposing teams as well. So we're also known for that, but I agree with you on this one. What is going to be the key in Sri Lanka now? If you talk about it, test matches, session by session, your planning should be very well. Considering their track record, we're pretty sure it's going to be a spin track. It's going to be, I think, a very, very important decision at the toss, because on the 4th innings, if you're asked to bat, I wouldn't fancy that.
Oh, of course, that, if I'm the captain of Sri Lanka, I will win the toss, go for the batting first, because, Pakistan is not good in chasing at all, and especially in the pressure situation. If you're getting 2-3 early wickets, a wicket of Babar Azam and Imamul Haq and Abdullah Shafiq, then the rest of the team in the pressure, yes, Saud Shakil is in good form, but once again there is a question that either you will go with Rizwan and Sarfraz both, or you just you will play an extra spinner. But that the Sri Lankan spinners, they're really good. So in the 4th innings, when you're going on the 4th, 5th day, there would be bunch of marks of the spikes, and won't be easy for the batters to handle these kind of spinners who are already match winner spinners. So Sri Lankans, their strength is their spin bowling attack, and then of course they have a couple of good batters as well. But on the other side, same strategy for the Pakistan. If they win the toss, they just go for the batting first, because we have a very good fast bowling attack. Shaheen Shah Afridi, then Naseem Shah, and of course Hassan Ali, they're bowling so nicely. Then I think Abrar, once again, mark my words, because the Abrar could be trump card again.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that, because since Abrar has played for Pakistan, this is the first time he's going to be playing on wickets that are going to actually support spinners. So this would probably be his game. Although I would have loved to see Sajid Khan, but God knows where he is now. Are you rating him as a trump card now in this?
Yeah, this is what I said, that because that if you talk about his wrong one, talk about his flipper and his googly, each and everything, he was working so nicely, because I had discussed this before as well, that I have watched his interview on Eid and on a TV channel, and he said that I had worked really hard, because after a very superb debut against England, I cannot stay calm.
But I have a problem with modern day leg spinners. I have a genuine problem, Asif. I think these modern day leg spinners, not only particularly Abrar, but even when I see youngsters, very young leg spinners from under 19 circle as well, they tend to use the googly too often. The wrong one that they ball is more frequent than their original leg spin, which really disturbs me. Because if we remember great leg spinners with the likes of Shane Warne, remember Mushtaq Ahmad, Anil Kumble, all of these bowlers, the googly or the wrong one used to be a special delivery. So you used to set the batsman up with 2 to 3 overs of leg spin and then ball the wrong one. Now the frequency has become too much. Even for Abrar, I've seen him bowling the wrong one too much that then apparently the batsman is always ready for that wrong one.
Abrar Ahmed, that he's a kind of bowler that with the same action, he just go for the flipper, uses his finger as well. But your point is good. If we talk about the T20 cricket, you cannot go always with the flight, and you cannot offer flight to the batters to go for the maximums. That in white ball cricket, yes, I do not go with that idea that the spinners always offering flight. Yes, in red ball cricket, of course, that you'd have to you have to be really brave when you're bowling, especially in the middle overs, and you are just going and trying to break the partnerships. So you require some kind of energy. And then when I'm talking about these flippers, you have taken a name, Anil Kumble. Do you remember that when he has taken 10 wickets against Pakistan, most of them he has used the fingers. The batter always expected a flight, but that was a straight delivery, and they got LBW. So, Abrar, if you, of course, because you follow the domestic cricket as well, that in domestic cricket, he has done the same thing. But after his debut, if he's working so hard, this is a very, very good sign that I have started my career, but I'll go on the peak. This is what he has said. So, I'm quite sure that the Abrar could be a trump card against Sri Lanka.
Absolutely. Asif, Ahmad, thank you very much for joining us on Sports Extra. It's always great having you on the show. On that note, of course, we'll now move on to tennis. And on tennis, we've got to discuss the biggest Grand Slam of the year, that is Wimbledon. And if you talk about Wimbledon, it's been Novak Djokovic, and it's going to be, I think, a lot of grit to stop him. And on the women's side as well, we've had some intense competition. Although Carlos Alcaraz has been, playing very well. If you talk about his tennis so far, it's been brilliant. We'll talk about this further. We've been joined by sports expert Ali Mehdi. Ali, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Sports Extra.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for having me, Ahmad.
Well, Ali, what would you like to say about the Wimbledon so far? I understand that the charm of Federer and Nadal might not be there, but if you had one name to choose from, it would be Novak Djokovic. Is there any stopping the Serb this season as well?
Well, going into this Wimbledon Grand Slam, I was very hopeful that that there would be some players, some youngsters coming along the way. Carlos Alcaraz, Tsitsipas, Rublev, Sinner. I mean, the list goes on. But the problem is, Ahmed over here is that, he's just been an unstoppable force. The thing, when it comes to Grand Slams, he's a completely different beast. His last match against Hubert Hurkacz, the guy actually had 3 break points, set points on the first set, and he still managed to lose it to Novak Djokovic. Lost the second set on a tie break too. Third set, Hurkacz managed to grab the third set, but the fourth set, once again, no, Djokovic got it. The thing over here is that Djokovic knows how to win Grand Slams, and he puts you under so much power, stress, and under so much strain that there's really no stopping him. So, to answer your question, Ahmed, I can't see anybody stopping him right now. I'll be very surprised if anybody. And I think it'll be probably the greatest shock of all time if somebody can stop Novak Djokovic, because he's a man on a mission. He wants that Grand Slam. He wants a Grand Slam record of Federer. He wants 8 Wimbledon titles. And at that moment, it does look like he's going to get that at that.
Well, interestingly, Ali Mehdi, I expected Matteo Berrettini to ace this one. But if you talk about Carlos Alcaraz, he looks to be in very, very critical form right now.
Look, he's in fabulous form. This is the one player who really did test Novak Djokovic at the French Open too. He's the best thing, he has the US Open and his belt too. He's playing extremely well. And most of all, he is the world number 1. He has that tag. But the real question is, he still has some big matches left. He still has to play his quarterfinals and semifinals. And then going further, he could end up with Djokovic. The question over here is that will he have the same fitness to go all the way against Novak Djokovic? He definitely is young, but only time will tell.
Absolutely. What do you think about the women's side? Is there anyone particular who you think would be crowned this season?
Look, if there's one person I've been backing on, and I have been mentioning on multiple platforms, it has to be Jabot. The Tunisian, the last remaining Muslim actually, who is left in the draw. She's been absolutely fabulous. She made the final last year. We were all rooting for her, but she unfortunately lost. She now has a rematch of the woman she lost against, Rybakina. So that should be a very, very good match. I'm actually rooting her, but other than that, Iga Swiatek actually survived a scare against Bencic and in the quarterfinals too. Sabalenka is there, so there's quite a few names over there who could actually still, go extremely deep into this tournament. But if I have to put it, it's either got to be Swiatek or it's got to be, I think, Ons Jabeur. It has to be her, yeah, and I do think that she will beat the defending champion Rybakina.
Certainly, Ali Mehdi, thank you very much for joining us on Sports Extra. That was Wimbledon, and Ali Mehdi, of course, highlighted some of the particular names that might be contenders for this season's Wimbledon crown. That wraps it up from me and the entire team. It's goodbye for now.